So with that, welcome back. And now we get the opportunity to hear from our mayoralty candidates for the City of Brooks as they each explain their positions on a variety of issues that are facing our city. Our mayoral candidates have up to 3 minutes, which is a luxury compared to the last one, to make an opening statement before we proceed into the question and debate portion for tonight's event. And then each candidate will have 2 minutes to make a closing statement at the end of the program. And again, please continue to refrain from participating in the forum in any other way other than by quiet observation. And please hold your applause until the end. You can still submit written questions, and if you have a question to submit, I'd ask that you please hold up your hand during the debate, and they will be collected by a volunteer. So now, without any further ado, I'd like to invite the audience to join me in welcoming to the stage the 2025 mayoral candidates of the City of Brooks. Mr. Norm Gerestein. And Mr. Goodnough. Be seated. And so, with that, and we can begin, and each candidate will have 3 minutes to deliver an opening statement. And so we'll begin with candidate Gerestein. Your opening statement.
Well, thank you for coming out tonight. It's much appreciated that we get to talk to so many people that are interested in what's going on in the City of Brooks. Also, I want to thank the Chamber for hosting this event today. And I also want to thank all of the candidates who were up here earlier for their dedication to the City of Brooks, because without them, we might not even have a council. So it's very important that we heard from them. The first thing that I will do, because some of you I don't know, many of you I do, but my name is Norm Gerestein. I've been a resident of the City of Brooks for the past 38 years. My wife is sitting back over here, Patricia, and we also have 4 children. We came here when they were young, and now they're a little bit older. And a few of the things that I'll talk about is that I have been on City Council for 14 years, so I know the ins and outs of the City Council. I also have 35 years of business experience, successful business experience with the Bay and Zellers. I run stores with 120 staff down to about 40 staff, so I'm well versed in that, managing people. The next thing that I have done is I worked and operated Work and Play here in Brooks. And that I did for 21 years. So I have a lot of local business experience. And the next thing that I want to get into is not only that experience, but I sit on a lot of boards. One of the boards I sit on is the Conservative Party of Canada. I was the official agent for MP Martin Shields. I also sit on the UCP board for Danielle Smith as the president. I've been doing that for 4 years. And I also sit on Life Talk Counseling Board, and I sit on a couple of other boards. But the primary thing that I want to tell you today is when I am elected, I will drop many of those boards to concentrate on my service to the City of Brooks, because I think that is where my service will be required. And I will put in 4 to 6 hours per day to do that job at the city office. And I will work with transparency, accountability, honesty, and integrity. And I believe those are the factors that all of you would appreciate in your next mayor. And I see I'm down to only 7 seconds, so I'll end.
Thank you. Candidate Goodnough.
Well, thank you very much for coming out tonight. I want to thank Mr. Gerestein for attending and being a part of this event, of course, and for the Chamber for hosting, and obviously all of the citizens of Brooks. And I know we even have some folks from the county that have their invested interest in our city, by being a business owner. So I want to thank you for being a part of that. I really run on three principles: safety, being strong for our people and our economy, and sustainability. Over the last 7 years, I was elected first in a by-election where I won by 7 votes to top competition. I had to jump in and learn the game very quickly. And over that next 3 years, under the leadership of Mayor Morishita, we started the pathway forward to a successful city. Within that time, then the next election came in, and I was able to lead that way under Mayor Petrie, and also to be able to serve as your deputy mayor for the last 4 years, where we not only expanded what we built on from previous mayors, but now we've grown and we've expanded our city to being a top-notch city that I believe that we are, and we're going to continue to be. We continue to expand our city in different areas, whether it's in technology, the agri-food I'm going to talk about in the next little bit. We continue to increase in our housing, that I'm proud to say that this council has developed over and attracted over 500 new permitted units, which is a record amount considering that we're not in an oil boom. It's a simple fact that people want to live in our city because of the quality of life that this council has brought. And I will continue to bring that to the table every meeting that we have. I'm excited to announce that obviously my beautiful bride and wife is here of many years. I don't want to fall into that trap of how many, but it is 24. Amanda, she is the director of the Spec Association. And that just goes to show you two things: that we are a family that builds community. We've always strived for community. I was proud to be one of the directors and founders of the Champion Center, which is a center for homes. I'm proud to be one of the former Rotarian presidents that I still continue to be a member of. And of course, I'm proud of the many organizations that we get to support through the city. It's been my honor, my privilege as the last 4 years to serve in over 9 committees, 2 provincial committees that continue to bring an interest to Brooks. And I promise this again, that if I'm chosen to be your next mayor, I will continue to work and to strive to bring safety, to be strong, and to bring sustainability for not just this generation, but for generations to come.
Thank you. So now some questions for each of you, and I see the pencils and papers are out, so that's good. So the first question is related to the topic of governance, fiscal accountability, and transparency. So the question is, why are you running for this election? What qualifications and experience do you have that would make you an ideal mayor, both with your business background and your community involvement? You repeat it?
No.
Okay, good. And good enough.
Can you repeat that? No, I'm just joking. Let's be honest. The city is very transparent. We post everything on our website. We are transparent by posting everything online that we do. We are a very transparent council. In fact, I would say we're probably one of the most transparent councils. We constantly are putting out our financial statements, what we're doing, where we're spending your tax dollars. My history was originally from Saskatchewan. I'm from Saskatchewan originally, and I worked in small business, and I understand accountability to making sure that your products are bought and sold in a timely manner. I'm proud that we, in this last little while, in our governance, we have been able to fast track. We're going to hear a lot about, we're going to cut red tape. Our council actually did that. And I'm proud to say that we now have a faster track than ever to making sure when people come in the door, they get out the door just as fast with the permit.
Thank you. Kevin Gerestein.
Well, I'm running to make Brooks a more sustainable community. We have to be transparent, we have to be accountable, we have to be honest, and we have to deal with integrity. And through all of that, through collaboration with the other, say for instance the county, the government of Alberta, and the federal government, we can work together to make Brooks a stronger community. I've worked with budgets for the last 40 years, and I know what is entailed in a budget, and And that is very important to me. And one thing that I go back to is a comment that Carly Bryant made. I love Brooks. Brooks is a fabulous community. It has been a fabulous community for my family, and I want that to continue.
That's time. Thank you. Our second question is, how will you achieve financial sustainability while balancing service delivery, cost competitiveness, and fair taxation? And what services would you want to see expanded, reduced, eliminated, or changed? And I'll read that again. How will you achieve financial sustainability while balancing service delivery, cost competitiveness, and fair taxation? What services would you want to see expanded, reduced, eliminated, or changed? Candidate Gerestein, you're first.
Well, financial sustainability, I think what we have to do is we have to go back through the budget. We have to look at what the items are within the budget where we can save money, where we can possibly spend money. But I still look at the sustainability of our community in being that we have to make sure that the critical infrastructure is put in place. We have to make sure that we have a safe community. We have to make sure that economic development is looked at, as well as making sure that the cleanliness of the community is kept up. And so when I'm looking at taxes, I'm saying to myself, well, let's work so that we can reduce the tax level from where it currently is to a lower percentage point than what it is today.
Thank you. Candidate Goodnough.
Yeah, you know, we look at the idea of sustainability, taxation, the economy. My plan moving forward is to continue to expand our partnership within the county and the EID to attract new businesses. I know it's going to be a controversial comment that I'm about to make, but I support the fact that we have the Brooks EID net. I'm proud to say that we attracted a $20 million investment into this community, and the city, through its gas tax fund, paid $5.4 million, $5.6 million from gas tax, which did not go to your tax, did not increase your taxes. Why do we do that? Because we recognize that small businesses to large business need fast internet. They need leading global internet. And we recognize this to be true in the fact that businesses are asking for that, residents are asking for that. And I believe that we're going to continue to see growth through that.
Thank you. Another question, what steps as mayor would you take to ensure government transparency, public engagement, and communication to the community? And I'll read that again. What steps as mayor would you take to ensure government transparency, public engagement, and communication to the community? You have 1 minute. Candidate Goodnough.
Well, transparency is very clear that we keep great records of our minutes and our agendas. We put it out to the public. There is a responsibility on behalf of the public to access that information. We have it on the internet, but also the public engagement is important too. As a councillor, I'm proud that all of our meetings are open. This idea that we have closed session meetings that people can't come into is simply not true. We are one of the most transparent councils that I believe in recent history. So we engage the public. We want to continue to welcome public input. That's why I'm glad that on the campaign trail, I'm not just door knocking, but I'm also meeting in the seniors' homes. I'm going to public gatherings. And I continue to do that, whether before I was mayor, or before I was the deputy mayor, as a councillor, or in this new role that potentially I'll get. So I'm continuing to engage public, and we need to welcome that.
The public citizens are critically important to any decisions that will be made within the city of Brooks. I have a tendency to walk the town almost every night. I even get stopped on many occasions for people that ask me questions about what is going on in the city. Now, I know this, what we've done in the past about 8 years ago, I think it was about 8 or 10 years ago, we started the information page in the Brooks Bulletin. That was a definite plus to get the information out that we were needing to get out to the public. And again, with transparency, that is, again, a critical element to any governing body, is to make sure that we are fully transparent in anything that we do. And I applaud what Councillor Goodnough said, that they are transparent.
Sorry. At this point, however, you do have an opportunity if you want to do any follow-up. Again, I'll provide you with 30 seconds to do any follow-up on any of these 3 questions that you've been asked so far. Anything you'd like to expand on, elaborate on, you're welcome to do so. And we'll set aside 4 minutes to do that. And go ahead.
Well, I'll respond to myself.
You know, the reality is we are living in the technology age. We know that there's a 60 billion, that's B with a $1 billion industry that's coming to Alberta, and we need to be prepared for it. The data center, storage centers are coming. I want to be on the edge of getting it, and I believe that with who I know and where we can go, we're going to get there.
Okay, Councillor Goodnough brings up an interesting comment about broadband. I reviewed broadband when it first came in, and I have to say that it should have stayed in the private hands. I talked to Doug Griffiths, who is the Minister of Municipal Affairs. He indicated that technology changes every 18 to 36 months. So this technology will be outdated sooner than later.
That's time.
So I'm glad you opened that conversation. When he talks about technology, Mr. Griffin is referring to your cell phones, to your maybe your satellite dishes. He's not talking about Wi-Fi and fiber. That's a very different infrastructure. And to understand what that means is it's like building a road. Roads are here to stay. Fiber optics is here to stay. And I'm glad to say that we've got it and we're cutting edge on it.
Norm?
Anyways, when I reviewed Olds was up to $20 million in debt before they sold it off. I don't want to get there.
And that's oh, sorry. Sir?
Go ahead, Norm.
Yeah. And Doug Griffiths was talking about all kinds of technologies, not just phones.
I'd encourage you to read his book on it and on what he actually does talk. But the reality is we're not in debt over this. We had a $20 million investment from a private company that came to Brooks. We took $5.6 million out of a $6 million gas tax fund that we still have money left over for infrastructure upgrades that we're going to make. We've captured already within our first 2 years, my apologies, a third of the market in Brooks. I want to say this, what other business will capture that type of and retain in that amount of time?
Norm?
Okay, there's 5,000 households in Brooks. If we were even to get 2,000 of those households, it's probably going to take 24 years to get your return on the investment. I don't think anybody in here who's in business would wait 24 years. And if you read the paperwork, they only made $2,000 in April on the investment. Well, you can add up even further the years it will take to get your return on the investment.
Okay, I'm just going to throw this question in here, and I'm just going to give each of you an opportunity to respond. It's a controversial issue. So what is your approach to handling controversial and complicated issues on council?
Who would you like to take that?
Go ahead.
Sure. I'm one of the most open-minded people, I believe, at this table and in our council. I consider the needs and the wants of our residents. We listen to them, we consider them, we take them not for granted, but we recognize as we live within our budgets, as we have navigated through COVID, we have come out even stronger than predicted because we've listened and responded appropriately to each other.
Norm, last words to you.
Okay, we will listen to not only the citizens, but we will listen to each one of our council members. We will respect what they are saying, and in the end, The 7 of us will vote. And when we vote, we are only one vote. So if it goes to 4 to 3, then the topic would be defeated or accepted, depending on which way it would go.
Thank you. So let's shift gears here a little bit. We're going to move on to our second topic, and it's on the topic of strengthening business competitiveness. And so here's the first question in this category. What do you believe is hindering growth within the city, and what do you believe is the single most important thing that needs to be changed in order to realize our full potential and grow as a city? And I'll say that again. What do you believe is hindering growth within the city, and what do you believe is the single most important thing that needs to be changed in order to realize our full potential and grow as a city? Candidate Gerestein, you're first.
Okay, the way to grow business in Brooks, and what I would do is I would work with Entrepreneur, I would work with other organizations to handle the situation with giving out microloans. Microloans have worked in the past. Then I think what we have to do is communicate with those business or the business people who want to come into Brooks, because oftentimes they don't have the business savvy to know where the location would be best suited for their business. And the products that they sell, they might have to adapt to what they're doing. So they need a lot of guidance when they start up a new business, because if they don't, they will not survive.
I'm going to take a little different approach on this as a small business owner and entrepreneur, is I prefer City Hall to stay out of my business. I prefer that you give me my permit, allow me to work where I need to work and to do it. I've done the research, we've done the study, and we know what we're doing. Many of you are successful businesses here because City Hall doesn't interfere. Now, where we have to be consistent is in our permitting, and we talk about Entrepreneur, we talk about new growth, and we provide opportunities for businesses that can be struggling. I sit on the Entrepreneur business right now board, and we provide mentorship and leadership when it's asked for. But my preference is to stay out of the local businesses and allow them to run the best that they can.
Thank you. Follow-up question to that is, with the population growth that Brooks has experienced, it's put pressure on municipal services. How do you plan on adapting city management and services to meet the growing needs of the municipality? And again, with the population growth of Brooks that we've experienced, it's put pressure on municipal services. How do you plan on adapting city management and services to meet the growing needs of the municipality? Candidate Gerestein.
Okay, population growth, the last census was 14,900, I believe it was, and right now they're saying that our population is at 17,000. What we have to do is we have to work with our managers at the city office, we have to work with our CAO at the city office, and we have to determine where the priorities are for development of infrastructure that will be required for those businesses to succeed in the future. And that may be having to redo their sewer line. It might be a clay pipe that might have to be replaced, and those types of things, because a lot of people do have backups into their business operations.
Thank you. Joel?
You know, it's interesting, and I just want to tail off of something that Mr. Gerestein has said. He talks about he wants to talk with every department. I need to remind everyone that we have one employee in the city, and that's the CAO. You hire a capable CEO that manages and leads his team, and we support our CAO, and we make sure that his team is supported. When needs and wants come, as was mentioned earlier, we look at it, we look at it fiscally, we look at it within our budget, and we make decisions based on that, based on their expertise in their area. I have to remind us quite often that I'm not in the plumbing game, I'm not in the maintenance department game, but they understand the needs, and when they come to us, we're ready to respond. And I think that's an important aspect to remember when running the city, and that we only have one employee, and that's the CEO, and it's having the right CEO.
Thank you. So we're going to open this up again to provide you an opportunity to add or expand on any earlier answers. Again, let's keep it in the theme of on the topic of strengthening business competitiveness. So we'll turn it over to Constable. Candidate Goodnough. There we go.
So with the topic of strengthening business, we recognize, I look at in my campaign that safe, strong, sustainable. I want to build strong, I want to be a part of building strong businesses and giving people the opportunity to grow. So I believe in our fiber optics, absolutely. I believe that what we're doing is setting us ahead to build up the speed that people need. Also, I believe that we need to allow our staff administration to fast track and to get businesses growing. Am I ready?
Nora?
Okay, one of the things about businesses, and I think the thing that will succeed in business, is doctor retention. At the moment, we have 8 doctors working in emergency. 4 of them are coming up to retirement age. And if we don't get some doctors to come into Brooks, we won't have to worry about business, because business will not start in Brooks, because there won't be any doctors here to service you, the citizens of Brooks. So I think that's critical in whatever we're looking at. Then after that, I think we have to help those businesses if they are going to be.
Sorry, Nora.
Okay.
Same topic?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll continue on in this idea is not only do we have to create new businesses, but we have to draw them in. As your mayor, I'll be working tirelessly to draw in new businesses. I talked about data mining centers. We're going to look at that in the industrial. We're going to continue to pursue the agri-food businesses. We're going to continue to work with the county and the EID to make sure that those businesses are ready to go when they come.
Nora, last word on that?
Well, we have to look at a relationship with the college and the CDC. Right now, the CDC is getting off the ground and it's got hydroponics. Why can't we get a hydroponic type business going on out at the college? The college also has about 30, 40 acres that is not being utilized. That land could be better utilized if they were to collaborate with the CDC and the county.
Thank you. Just another question, and maybe just to refocus this a little bit, but an economic development strategy it plays a key role in directing and focusing economic development. So what is your perspective of economic development? What would you believe to be an effective strategy for economic development moving forward?
Well, I would say this, that moving forward, we have to attract. If someone's going to bring their business here, they need to know that they have a home. They need to know that they can have a place for their kids to play and to do sports. You know, we recognize that over this last year, it's been about work-life balance. And when people want to come into work, they need to know that they've got a place. So economics is so much bigger than just the business side. It's the lifestyle side too.
Yes, the economic strategy, and we send that off to the CAO as well to address it with staff. We come out with the recreation master plan. We come out with an awful lot of other plans for council to follow, because it is essential that the lifestyle of an individual is enhanced when they have green spaces available to them within the city of Brooks. So, and the other one is just simple retention. Let's retain businesses that we already have.
Good, thank you. Let's move on to topic number 3. And this question is based on building healthy communities. And so the first question, and you guys have already talked a little bit about this, but I'll rehash it. Some citizens have expressed concerns about BrooksNet, especially regarding the amount that it's costing the city. So just if there's anything that you haven't already mentioned about this, what's your perspective of BrooksNet in relation to ongoing costs and the sustainability of BrooksNet? And we'll start with candidate Goodnough.
Well, really, we're still in our infancy stage of 2 years. I go again to say, we've got a $20 million investment. We've got the money put away from our gas tax fund of $5.6 million that did not come out of your taxation of your houses. We're on track. We're not in debt on it. We continue as we're growing. We've got a quarter of the population already signed up. We're getting going. Some people would have the theory, well, if it hasn't worked in 2 years, let's get rid of it. What message does that send to businesses around that want to come in? Oh, if I'm not working, if I'm not surviving, you're going to boot me out of the city? It doesn't work that way. You give it time, and we will continue to grow it, just like we've seen many companies in our city take time, and they grow, and they're successful to keep their families here as a result.
Thank you. Norm?
Again, I'm a proponent of businesses, industry, that we should stay out of it. We should not be in the business of telecommunications because we don't know enough about the telecommunications. The last articles in the newspaper had no figures to substantiate what the total costs have been that have been spent already. They're saying that the city would have to do an audit to determine the value of that particular asset. And also, when I reviewed Olds, the same problems that we're experiencing today are the problems that Olds experienced back in that time frame. And that was just 6-7 years ago. And it was the same bunch of companies.
We'll have a chance later if you want to rebut. So the second question is, there are increased concerns with crime in the community. And so if elected, what do you believe can be done to address the rising concerns related to crime in the community? And I'll say that again. There are increased concerns with crime in the community, and if elected, what do you believe can be done to address the rising concerns related to crime in the community? Norm?
Okay, that is one of the concerns that I've heard many times in my door knockings. I think what we have to do is work very closely with the RCMP. We have to work very closely with bylaw. We have to find out exactly what those concerns are. And we have to hold forums. We have to hold meetings with the different groups that we have within the city to find out what the problems are and how we can possibly address them. Because I think there are solutions to the crime problem. So it's just a matter of getting out there and communicating and listening and acting.
Yeah, so in November, if elected mayor, I'm going to propose in our budget the increase to go from 3 bylaw officers to 6 bylaw officers, where we're going to increase with now having 2 shift works. 2 shifts in that. The reason why I say that is it's easier to empower our bylaw officers than it is, as you know, it's hard to right now to recruit our CMP members. We have 23 members. I think at this time we have 20 that are full-time. We have 1 that works in the school system, that partially the payment. Part of their payroll comes from the school district, and we're grateful for the partnership with that. In my plan that I believe that I'm going to bring safety is we're going to have more community engagement. We're going to work more with our social programs. We're going to continue to be out there to build trust and relationship so that people can continue to call on, whether it's bylaw or our RCMP, to keep our streets safe.
Okay, I agree with increasing the number of bylaw officers. I don't know whether I would go to 3 because you probably have to look at what the costs are and the benefits to all of that is. But I would say that we've got enough bylaw officers at the present moment to easily address the situations. We've got 23 RCMP officers. We've got 2 community school officers, and I think they can do the job as well without having to increase too greatly that number. So I'm down to 1 officer and see how it works, and go 2 and 2, and we'll see how that works out, because otherwise it's another addition to the budget, and every $170,000 that we go over budget is another 1% increase to your taxation.
So the next question regards housing, and in Brooks and Canada more broadly, pressure on affordable housing has never been higher. What's your approach to ensuring that Brooks retains options for sustainable and affordable housing? And we'll get into that.
Sure. Yeah, sure. So I'm proud to say that under our leadership, under Mayor Petry's leadership and our council, we've approved over 400 new developments to take place, whether it's on West End Ball Diamonds, to there that's going to be starting soon, or to the southeast sector. We're now filling in the brown, what was referred to as the brown zone housing on 16th and 17th. No one would touch those for years, and now we've attracted development to come in and to buy up those lots. I'm also proud to say there are local builders that are buying up lots too. So we're getting our fair share, which also, I'll say this, will help increase our local businesses. And as we keep the housing, and they're all a mix, they're from single family to duplexes to apartments. So we're going to make a wide range contribution and put a great dent into illegal suites that are in our city, and it's going to be affordable, and I believe we're going to make a home for everyone.
Well, I'd like to remind everyone that the development of the apartments in Brooks, the 400 units that we're talking about, started about 8 years ago. That started under Mayor Morishita, and we continued that process of trying to attract these businesses or developers into the city of Brooks. And they finally came, after I left council, but they finally came to the city of Brooks. And so, you know, that process had started well before this term. And another thing is, I do believe, and I was part of the program on 17th Street, where we did reduce the price of the lots. Somebody came in, purchased those lots, and developed fourplexes on them, and they look fantastic, and we've got a lot of residents there.
Thank you. The next question is, there seems to be incentives for new residents and newcomers. However, long-term residents are not seeing any breaks. So what incentives could be provided to retain long-term Brooks residents? And candidate Gerestein, you first.
Okay, I'm not 100% sure at the moment what incentives are given to newcomers to the city, but if there are incentives, then we should probably ask the federal government and the provincial government to, you know, just to see what kind of incentives there are and what they can do for us, for the residents who are already here in Brooks. Because it doesn't make any sense if the newcomers are getting all the incentives and permanent residents here are not.
I want to be careful I choose my words on this, because I think sometimes we hear things on the streets, we read things on the internet, they're simply not true. When people or newcomers come to our country, they come with limited resources, limited finances, health concerns, and they come here looking for a better life. No different than my grandparents or your grandparents. And the incentive is that they get to come to Canada. And we need to be a welcoming and inclusive community that welcomes them in and supports them through groups like BCIS, BCAL, and SPEC, and gives them the opportunity, every opportunity for their kids and for us, for them to move forward and to achieve all their dreams and hopes. So to be honest, I find that question kind of, I'm not sure what incentives are talking about. So.
Thank you. And I have a question from the member of the audience, and so it actually fits very nicely into this part of the conversation. And so we'll again open up the floor and have an opportunity for you to speak on it, 30 seconds each. How do you feel about living in a multicultural community? And how do you plan to bridge the current or perceived gaps between different cultures in our community? Joel?
Well, I think it's a privilege that we get to live in a community with multiple religions, multiple our diverse culture. I think we can learn from one another. I don't believe that one race is better than another race. We're the human race. We work together, we partner together, and we grow together. And I think the sooner we start to realize these things, the faster we can progress as a society.
Norm?
Well, we're called the city of 100 hellos. The 67, I believe it was, different nationalities in Brooks. So we are extremely multicultural. And I think it's fantastic. I love going to the Taste of Nations. I hope most of you went to the Taste of Nations because that was a fantastic event. But there's also the Filipino Days. And the list goes on and on and on. And I think we need to get to more of those events.
Joel, anything to add?
Well, just to add on to that, there's more than just the Taste of Nations. We have so many community groups that if you just walk through our schools, you see the diversity. You look at the sports teams, the diversity. It's everywhere we go. I think about what we're going to be celebrating here, our Remembrance Day. I think about our cadet program, the diversity. We are a welcoming community. It is a city of 100 hellos. But the greatest thing is that we welcome and we work with each other to support each other.
Okay. Another question coming from our audience is, what does supporting local mean to you? And how do you plan on prioritizing it? Norm?
Well, if we're talking supporting local in business, I think it's very, very critical. And I think an awful lot of the businesses nowadays don't adapt to the changing environments that they're in. So if you've been going in your business down that road, and you just stay on that road, you're going to have difficulty. You have to look at what is in the community, and that goes back to the multicultural groups. We have to adapt to them coming in to shop at your store.
Joel?
I know we're not allowed to name drop the local businesses that we have, so I won't. But I'm very proud that many of our stores in town are very culturally diverse, from the person who's taking your money, to our pharmacists, to who's bagging our groceries, to who's working at City Hall. We live in a great place. So when we shop local, we support local. I believe in local business. I believe that I don't want big industry, and I'm going to lean into this for a second. I'm not interested in selling to TELUS and Shaw, where we have something that's great local.
Thank you. Just throw a question in here and give each of you a chance to respond to it. There are various perspectives of the city of Brooks, and I'm sure you've heard various people talk about our community. What do you believe the current brand reputation reflects? And what would you like to see Brooks to be known for? Joel?
Yeah, well, I've got a sticker on my computer that says, Brooks, it's not the smell, it's the smell of money. It doesn't stink, it's the smell of money. It's kind of an interesting statement, and we're known for our cattle industry, but I believe we need to be known for our diversity in our industry. We have the opportunity. We were known as an oil town, and we've seen the ups and downs of that. But I believe through agri-food businesses, through data mining, we could be known as a tech center, we could be known as the agricultural hub, we could be known as the place that has a college, that is a trade center that everyone wants to be a part of.
No?
Well, one of the things that I look at, and we used to call Brooks, and we used to say, proud to call Brooks home. And I think what we need to do is work on our tourism. The tourism, we've got Dinosaur Provincial Park, we've got Lake Mule, we've got the Aqueduct, and very seldomly do we advertise those places. And when you're looking at the lineups on the highway for the traffic going to Banff during the summer, it's too bad that we can't turn that traffic around through communication and through advertising in order to get those people to come to Brooks.
Thank you. We do have some time for few more questions, and these come from the floor as well. So a question for you, and we'll start with you, Norm, and we'll give you 30 seconds. What are your plans to expand or attract events to Brooks? And what are your plans for future use or user fees for facilities? Maybe I'll let you go past 30 seconds on that.
Okay, I think when we turn around and we have things like the summer games, it brings a lot of people into Brooks. And if we hold events, and again, the Filipinos have an excellent basketball program. The Somalians, they have an excellent soccer program going where they invite a whole pile of different groups into the city. I think that we could expand on those events to make Brooks that much stronger. User fees, I take it you're talking about user fees at the recreation center, etc. And I think that we could probably look at reducing the fees to a point where the public would feel more accessible to use those facilities. So that's basically it.
Thank you. Joel?
I look at it, we look at the sense of events and planning and tourism. Our tourist numbers, and we have our AGM tomorrow. I'm on the board for that. Our numbers are up. We've had Alberta Farm Days. We've had the Red Bull event out in just out of town here. We do have our national treasures that we do. It's a continuing working process. I think about what the work that our tourism team has done to work with the Alberta government to increase the funding levels. There has been some cuts in that area. They're not necessarily interested in Brooks, but I believe that if we, as the mayor, I'm going to put the pressure on to continue to build that. We've got some of the most amazing sites that you can see here, and we continue to that. As it concerns user fees, that's an ongoing basis. And so as we look at the cost of upgrades and upkeeps, we have to look at that. I know we had a very strong conversation about the YAP program and user fees with that. We need to continue to look and work with our young people on. So there's a lot of programs that we offer. Not everything can be free. Everything does come at a cost, and it's whether it's coming out of my pocket or the taxpayers, but it's coming somewhere. So we have to look at that and be fiscally responsible.
And one more question from the audience is, and we'll start with you, Joel. How do you plan to support the well-being and development of the youth in our community?
Well, we continue to encourage them to well-being through using programs like the Makerspace, for example. It's a great community-free opportunity for kids to learn their computer skills, learn social skills. I think about our YC, our other programs within the basketball organization, the school program. We continue to support them by engaging them. I'm proud that our rec center offers a Friday youth program, free for kids to be a part of. So there's lots of good programs. What I find is what we have is a miscommunication of what's going on, and that's what we need to work on, is really to engage those kids and let them know what's going on, and they can be a part of it.
Norm?
Well, I think we have to support the well-being of our youth all year long. The schools do an excellent job of supporting the youth, but during the summer months, things seem to slide off. And we have to make sure that our programs continue on so that those youth can become stronger and more developed and just be better citizens within the city of Brooks. Again, the YAP Pass, we brought in the YAP Pass when I was on council, and it has worked tremendously well. And Makerspace has been fabulous, and that also came in at the same time.
Thank you. Other question, if I can find it, here we go, from the audience. Norm, we'll start with you. What would you say are your top 3 priorities if you were elected? Top 3.
Top 3 priorities, I would say, is we've got to look at getting the sewer lagoon and our roadways done. We've got to look at community policing and safety, and we've got to look at one that's quite often overlooked is a lot of individuals own homes in Brooks and rent them out. And when they rent them out, the cleanliness or unsightliness of that premises turns out to be not so nice to see. And I think what we should be doing is working with our CAO, talking about increasing a fine for those individuals that do not want to clean up their properties.
Yeah, so my top 3 priorities, of course, is the safety, strong economy, and the sustainability of our network. Norm raises a great point. We need to continue to work towards the wastewater treatment plant. If you're going to grow, you need a place for things to go. And so we are, I just made that up. But the truth is, we've got a plan, we've got funding from the provincial government of $8.6 or $9.6 million, I believe it is, that I was honored to make that announcement. We're going to continue to attract investment from the County of Newell, and we'll be attaching the federal government so that we're not going to be paying $18 million like some of our councillors would have liked to have us pay, but we're going to have it reduced where I believe we're going to come in at about an $8 million bill for the city.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry. At this point, we're at this point in the evening where we're going to invite you for your closing statements. And we're giving each candidate 2 minutes to do that. And so for your closing statement, we're going to start with Joel.
Sure. I want to thank you for the honor and the privilege of serving you over these last 7 years. It's been truly a great joy to see how we've taken a city through COVID to bringing in some of the greatest businesses, to attracting new businesses, to attracting new residents. It's truly been an honor to serve this way. I want to continue, though, to serve by bringing in safety. We recognize that as a great concern. I'm going to promise to continue to keep our RCMP. I'm going to continue to work with our bylaw officers. We're going to continue to work with citizens to make sure that this is a safe place. But I also want to talk about, I'm going to continue to be strong in our economy and to attract new businesses. We're working hard every day. I give credit to our economic development team. And I say it's a team because they work hard daily to attract new businesses to this city. And as your mayor, that will be one of my top priorities. How do we partner with the county and the EIB to grow our community, to release the tax burden off of the residents and get it out there a little bit more onto the industrial side of things. And then I look at being sustainable. We have to be sustainable as a community. The reality is we need the infrastructure upgrades. We need that. There's no doubt about that. But we have to do it through partnership. And I'm a person of partnership. I work with the provincial government. I will work with the federal government. Unlike my friend here, I don't work for the premier. I will work to make sure that she is accountable to us as our MLA, and I will continue to advocate on your behalf to get the best deals for our city. I will also continue to advocate in the federal side of things to make sure that we get the funding we need.
Thank you. Norm.
Well, first of all, I don't work for the premier. I'm only the board chair, so I don't work for her. So we bring the concerns of the citizens within the region to her so that she can address them. The second thing that I want to address before I get into anything else is you're talking about the $18 million. At the time, we had $6 million in the gas tax fund. Canada Works would go 1/3, 1/3, 1/3, so the provincial government would have picked up 1/3, the federal government would have picked up 1/3, and that would have been the $18 million. We wouldn't have any debt whatsoever for the sewer lagoon. Unfortunately, it didn't pass because people didn't think it was important at the time because it was at about 80% capacity, and I felt it was very important. And Andrew from MPE Engineering can confirm those numbers. But anyways, I want to be transparent. I want to work on collaboration. I want to be accountable. I want to be honest, and I want to work with integrity. I also want to work in collaboration with the county and the mini-munis and the provincial government and the federal government to make sure that we are all working towards the benefit of the city of Brooks so that we can call Brooks home. And like I said earlier, I love Brooks. So that's what I would do in order to get grants, etc.
Thank you everyone. On behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, I'd like to thank all of you and thank you for attending tonight's forum. And while the Chamber does not endorse any one candidate, it is the Chamber's responsibility to help the public better understand the issues at stake in our municipal election and where our candidates stand on business-related issues. So we hope that by attending tonight's event, you're able to make an informed vote on October the 20th. And of course, a reminder again, we invite you to watch these forums on eRadio and through the Chamber's YouTube channel. We know that we have limited time for questions, and we encourage each of you to reach out to the candidates to help inform your decision as you head to the polls. And I'd like to acknowledge the Chamber of Commerce for their work organizing tonight's event. And you can find out more about the Chamber and their vote prosperity at their website, southeastalbertachamber.ca, and under their Advocacy Insights page. And so, again, thank you to everyone, and a special thank you to our candidates for throwing your hat in the ring. We really appreciate it. And thank you all for coming. Have a good evening.